Why does a cowboy boot brand from Austin, Texas sell out every drop within days, while another clothing brand with better products and a bigger ad budget can't even get people to click? Why does a clothing brand started by 3 college buddies who put in $250 built a cult following that actually Matthew McConaughey personally follows and shows up to their office for? This is no joke, this actually happened. And why do brands like Roark, Howler Brothers, Faherty have customers who talk about them the way that people talk about their favorite band, right? It's not just a brand they just buy from. The answer has nothing to do with their ads, nothing to do with their product photography, and honestly, nothing to do with Shopify apps. It has everything to do with one strategic decision they make before they ever ran a single ad. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what it is using real examples from 6 of the most interesting clothing brands operating right now so you can steal it for your own brand. I'm actually very, very excited about this video. Now, my name is Christian Piñon. I'm the co-founder at Bitbranding, a digital marketing agency. We're in Allen, Texas. We work exclusively with clothing brands and boutiques. My partner, Aaron Pearson, we've been doing this for years. We've done CRO audits, store builds, ad campaigns, email campaigns, exclusively for clothing brands. And we also run our OSO, which is our Optimized Store Owner membership community. At this point, we've had about 900 clothing brands go through that community. We go deep on the exact strategies that are actually moving the needle right now. I just want to say all that to say that we know clothing brands. It's literally our job. And what I'm about to share with you is something that I keep seeing over and over again, and the brands that are actually winning. Here's what most clothing brand owners think the problem is when they're actually not growing. They think it's the ads, or maybe they think it's an email flow, or product photos, or maybe they haven't found the right Shopify app yet, right, to do certain things. And I think those things do matter, but they're downstream problems. So you can have perfect ads and still not grow if you haven't solved the upstream thing first. And we're going to talk about this thing. This thing is identity. Specifically, who your brand is for and what your brand stands for and what cultural world your brand lives inside of. Every single brand I'm about to show you built their identity first before they actually optimized anything else. And that identity became the engine for everything. The community, the loyalty, the word of mouth, the organic growth. I'm going to break this down into 3 things that these brands do that I think most brands actually miss. So let's start with the first one. Strategy number 1 is the brands that win sell a world, right? Not just items or clothing pieces or a wardrobe. Let me show you what I mean with Roark. Roark doesn't just sell shirts and pants. Every single collection they release is built around a travel story. There's a fictional character just named Roark, and each season that character shows up in a different part of the world. The clothes are literally framed as the artifacts of his adventure. They've actually won some SIMA men's marketing campaigns of the year 4 times. Not because they have the best ads, but because they built a world people want to live inside. The product is the entry point into that world that they've created. They were literally inspired by a Costa Rica surf trip. Their name come from the howler monkey, the sound of exploration and misadventure, right? And everything they make reflects that world. The waves, the fly fishing, art, world cultures, music, these are worlds. They're not just product lines. They're not just collections that they're coming up with. When someone buys from Howler Brothers, they're not buying just a fishing shirt. They're actually joining that tribe of people who see the world a certain way. You compare that to a brand that just sells quality basics or premium streetwear, right? Those are just product descriptions. They're not worlds. And you can't build community around a product description. The question for your brand is, what world does your customer wants to live inside? What's the lifestyle? What's the attitude? What's the identity they're trying to claim when they put on your clothes? Now, strategy number 2 is these brands that win own a subculture. Not just like product category. There's a difference between saying that we sell outdoor clothing and saying that we are the brand for people who grew up surfing in California and just feel just at home riding horses in the desert, right? One is a category, the other one is a niche subculture. And Seager Co is a perfect example of this. 3 college students in California who started with $250 and a small run of t-shirts. They grew up surfing, but were obsessed with old Western films. And instead of picking one, surf or Western, they decided their brand was that bridge between the two. In Southern California, surf culture meets the grit and I think the ruggedness, right, of the Old West. That specificity is their superpower because there is nobody else who owns that exact intersection, right, of surf and Western. And obviously when someone who surfs or loves the beach, loves those types of adventures, and they love the West, or maybe they're from Texas, right? They encounter Seager and they feel like this brand was made specifically for them. And Sendero Provisions is also doing the exact same thing in Texas. They're not just outdoor clothing, they're quality provisions inspired by the landscapes and the cultures of the wild American West. That's very hyper specific. That's a subculture. It's like people who feel connected to maybe the land, maybe the culture, maybe the ruggedness of the American West, right? And they've built over 100,000 followers on that position alone. And then there's all those brands like Tecovas, right? Where they were early and they went all in just one category, and that was cowboy boots. But they understood that category was really just a subculture. It's Western wear. And their CEO has said explicitly, like, they don't build strategy around the cowboy culture trend. They stay anchored to their mission of honoring the West and crafting its future. That right there is anchored identity, is why they're at 50 stores and 200 million in sales, and they've aired a Super Bowl commercial this year in 2026 that actually felt like a little short film, right? The brands that stay stuck, they try to appeal to everyone. And the brands that win, they go deep on one subculture and they own it. So much so that when someone inside that subculture finds them, it's like finding the brand that was made for them. Now, quick pause before we get into this third strategy, which honestly, it's the one most people miss even when they understand the first two. If you're watching this and thinking, okay, I get it, I need a stronger identity, tighter subculture, but I genuinely don't know who my customer is at this level of this, being this specific. That's exactly why we help brands figure that out in our free 45-minute strategy call. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure to book a call with us. It's free. There's a link in the description down below. And also, if you have never actually sat down and clearly defined who your ideal customer is at that identity level, not just demographics, right, but like true identity, we've actually built a tool called the Avatar Clarity Blueprint, and it walks you through really nailing down your ideal customer in about 30 minutes. You can check it out in our website. You can go to the shop tab, bestsellers, and you'll find it in. All right, strategy number 3. This is the one that actually surprised me when I figured this out. The brands that win build community before they chase reach. There's a big difference between having followers and having a community. I will say that. I think followers just consume, right? Versus like community members actually talk about the brand, right? And all the brands that I've shown you today, basically all of them have built tight communities before they even started scaling, right? Seager, they actually call it the herd, and it's literally in their navigation. Howler Brothers built what they call a cult following of people who don't just buy their product, but they actually collect every single new release. Faherty, they built 80 stores and $250 million brand by making people feel like the brand was made for their specific lifestyle. Sustainable, coastal, and enduring. Actually, here's the thing about Faherty specifically. The twin brothers who founded it spent 12 years preparing this brand. One went into fashion and design, and one went into finance. And they didn't truly launch until they had the product right, the suppliers right, the story right. And when they did launch, it wasn't a slow burn. The community found them because they had built something worth gathering around. And Tecovas understood this too. Their CEO said that they nearly lost their identity by drifting toward like generic retail messaging. And the fix for them was maintaining a consistent brand voice. Same across every single store, every channel, every campaign. And that consistency is what community is built on. When your brand says the same thing, sounds the same way, stands for the same things, every time, everywhere, your community trusts you and they will recruit for you. Roark put it this way, and I truly love this. They want to empower people to discover themselves through authentic, irreverent, dangerous, and purposeful adventure on the road less traveled. That's not a marketing line, right? That's truly like a mission statement for a community, right? The community happens when your brand, it's so clear about who it's for and what it stands for that the right people can find each other through your brand. That's the unlock right there. All right, let's bring this together. The one thing all 6 of these brands figured out, right? Sendero, Tecovas, Faherty, Seager, Howler Brothers, and Roark, is that their brand is an identity, not just a product line. And that identity decision shapes everything downstream. So here are the 3 questions that I want you to sit with for your own brand right now. Question number 1 is, what world does your brand live inside? If someone buys your clothing, what version of life are they stepping into? What are the values, the aesthetics, the places, the activities that define that world? Okay? All about world building. Question number 2 is, what subculture do you specifically belong to? It's like not outdoor people or casual style, right? Try to be something more specific. The intersection nobody else actually owns. That's your territory. And question number 3, does your brand say the same thing everywhere? Same voice, same story, same values. Think about Instagram, your website, your emails, your packaging, because consistency is what converts followers into a community. If you can answer all 3 of those clearly, you have a foundation that actually makes everything else work. The ads perform better, the emails convert better, the product pages close better, because the identity is doing the heavy lifting. If this video helped you see your own brand differently, that's what we're here for. So subscribe if you want more content like this. We go deep on strategies that are actually working for clothing brands on Shopify right now. And again, if you want help applying this to your specific brand, you can book that free strategy call in the description down below. And for those of you that maybe you're here new or you've been here for a while, let me know in the comments. I do want to know if this breakdown was helpful for you. If you want more videos like these, we'll definitely make more. Or if you want more of the actual tactics on the actual websites, we can also do that. I would love to break down any of these brands. I love personally all these brands. I'm probably a brand evangelist for all of these. I do own items for all of them. Not sponsored anyway, but I do truly love what they are doing in their own respective space. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.